Good morning, good morning. How are you? I'm doing the last part now for my booklet of questions about geomorphology. This one, obviously, it's about river management and catchment areas, focusing more on water crisis. Okay. Start the infographic below on water crisis in Bushbuck Ridge. Of course, when you talk about the infographic, guys, obviously, what do we have? We've got an extract here. What do we have? We've got a map here. Then we also have a graph that actually shows the information. So which means we have got about three sources. This is what an infographic is. We have got three sources that will help you to have a better comprehension of the concept. Okay, let's go through so that we don't waste time. Bushbuck Ridge's water challenges seem to be escalating, which means it's increasing daily. The last 2 months have been a nightmare for some communities in this area. In the last 10 years of Bushbuck Ridge in local municipality has dismally failed to render, to provide potable water supply to most villages in Bushbuck Ridge. High E. coli counts, could have been caused by the overflows of sewage system infrastructure, manholes, illegal dumping of solid waste material, best sewage reticulation pipes, and non-functional pump stations. So this extract, it actually gives you a lot of information. This is showing you the location of those areas that are affected. Okay, so it's even defining an E. coli germs. Bacteria found in environment, water, intestines of people and animals, which means there's water pollution that is taking place there. It shows you that there's water pollution that is taking place there. Then here it shows problem experience at Bushbuck Ridge municipality. These are the problems. Okay, here you can see in terms of percentage. Here you can see the problem. There's population increase, there's inadequate infrastructure, there's poor maintenance, poor trained personnel, there's poor budget. So these are the problems behind the water crisis, I would say. These are the problems that is caused this problem of water crisis to emanate. So you have all the information, guys. The moment you've got all the information, it should make your life easier, because these will be answers to the questions that you are going to go through. So please make sure that before you attempt to answer any question, you go this infographic. Do not ignore, do not rush. You are not in a race. You're not going to be given a prize for finishing early in your exam. Go through. It's 3 hours. Take your time to read and understand. Take your time to read and understand. Take your time to identify those clues that will help you to answer the questions. So this is it. You see, I have not even read the questions, but I have information that I have actually got from this. I know that these are some of the challenges. These are some of the challenges that is actually resulted in this situation of water crisis. Okay, there's water pollution that is taking place. There's failure to provide basic water to the villages. Why? As a result of some of these challenges that are highlighted here, and some of the challenges that I've highlighted also on this extract. And this is the areas. Understand? Okay, let's move on to the question now. So the first question reads, identify the mountain range where rivers in this catchment area originate. So the question, a mountain range is just a line of mountain, guys. That's what a mountain range is, okay? Mountain range, of course. Identify the mountain range. Let's go back and see what this mountain range is. It's there, guys. It's there. Let's find it, so that at least we don't want to guess. We want to make sure that we have got the correct information. Nightmare come. All right, we are trying to find out what it is. Okay, it's here, guys. Drakensberg. It's here. That is the mountain range. That is Drakensberg. That is the mountain range. It's here, Drakensberg Mountains. Okay, that is the correct answer. Drakensberg Mountain. That is the mountain range. Okay, what is the purpose of waste treatment works at Dwaslop and Tulama Hashe? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? Okay, 2.5.2. Obviously, to purify the water. That is the purpose. You want to what? To purify the water. That is the purpose. To purify the water. That is the main purpose, is to purify the water. For this, and this is just to purify the water, to make it safe for drinking. That's basically what this is all about. Okay. And then the next question, what could have caused the high E. coli counts in the Bushbuck Ridge water? What is E. coli? Is the germs called bacteria found in the environment, water, intestines of people and animals. Obviously, we have got here overflows of sewage system, infrastructure, manhole, illegal dumping of solid waste material, best of sewage reticulation pipelines, and non-functional pump station. These are the causes. These are the causes. It's coming from the extract, guys. So that's why I was saying that you have got all the answers. You can't tell me that you will fail. You have got all the answers. Don't be lazy to read. Okay, overflows from sewage system, infrastructure, manholes, illegal dumping of solid waste material, best sewage reticulation pipelines, and non-functional pump station. So this is where the answer, this is where you get your answer. Okay, so you get your 1 mark here, you get your 1, you get your 1 there. According to the graph, what is the main cause of problems experienced by the Bushbuck Ridge municipality? According to the graph, what are the main problems? Okay, according to the graph, obviously we are talking about what are the main problems. Okay, let me go back again. According to the bar graph, what are the main cause of the problems experienced by the Bushbuck Ridge municipality? You can see we have got inadequate infrastructure. That's the main problem. Inadequate infrastructure. If you can check in terms of percentage, this is the main, which has got 27%. That is the main. So if you write poor maintenance, correct, but it's not the main. If you write poor trained personnel, it's correct, but it's not the main. If you say poor budgeting, it's correct, but it's not the main. If you say population increase, it's correct, but it's not the main. The question is saying, what is the main? The major contributor. What is the main cause? Question, main cause. That's what should guide you. So it means here you look in terms of percentage. That's one with the highest percentage is your inadequate infrastructure. That is your correct answer. Okay, let's move on to 2.5.5. Suggest a strategy. You are giving a solution now to the Bushbuck Ridge municipality can implement to overcome the problems in 2.5.4, which is inadequate infrastructure. How can they overcome the problem now? Number one, you need better maintenance. You fix leaked pipes. That's what you're supposed to do. You fix leaked pipe or leaking pipes. You need more trained personnel. Increase budget. Increase budget. Trained personnel. Better acceptance. Fix leaked pipes. You can also accept the family planning, because we are saying now when you are looking at the causes, there's population increase, which means natural population increase. There's a high birth rate, so which means we have also to consider family planning. We have to consider it. So it's a matter of looking of if we train more personnel, if we increase budget, if we maintain. Okay, that's basically what we're talking about. Trained personnel, we better maintenance. So we are just writing the opposite of what is here is solutions to improve the problem that has been highlighted on question 2.5.4. Then 2.5.6, it reads, in a paragraph approximately 8 lines, explain the importance of sustainable management of drainage basin and catchment areas. What are the importance, the significance, sustainable management? Number one, everyone will have access to water. That's what we need. We want to make sure that everyone has got access to water, because water is a basic need. So make sure you explain this in full, the factor and the qualifier, We need to make sure that everyone has access to clean water, because water is a basic needs. That is the importance of sustainable management of drainage basins and catchment areas. That is number one. We want the river ecosystem to remain healthy. We are protecting flora in the natural environment, not only flora but also in fauna. Okay, animals and plants in the wild habitats. Okay, that's what the wildlife. That's basically what you're talking about. River ecosystem remain healthy. That's what we are saying. The next one, flooding can also be controlled in a way, which means if we control flooding, we are also preserving habitats, we are also protecting wildlife. Okay, sustainable development can be maintained as well. That makes it possible for us to implement sustainable development of these drainage basin and catchment areas. We can also have economic and social stability. Water is essential for economic activities, including agriculture, energy production, tourism industry. So this will help to boost the economy. So we are saying now it helps in economic and social stability, because water is essential for economic activities, including agriculture, energy production, tourism and industry. We are also that we can also solve the problem of water security, which means we are going to have enough water for everyone. Okay, so we can also prevent waterborne diseases. Remember, there is a streaming of sewage, dumping of solid waste. So the moment we implement sustainable management of drainage basin and catchment areas, we are preventing waterborne diseases such as cholera. That's basically what we are talking about. It's the most effective way to purify water as well. We purify water, make it safe for drinking. We can also reduce self-erosion. These are some of the things that you can actually talk about. So boys and girls, this takes us to the end of our session. This takes to the end of our session. In as far as river and catchment area is concerned, let me see. I think I still have one question. Let me see. I still have one question. Okay, let me do this because all of them are under river management and catchment area, not end of the session as well. It's too early. Let me do this then. I think that will be the last question. That will be the last question. I'll have two. Actually, I'll have two. Let me just do all of them. Refer to the diagram, extract below catchment and river management. This is another one as well. Okay, this is what we have. Northwest, of course, you've got the mapped area. You also have the key. This will help you to understand what is on the map. Let me read. The Moy River has many major tributaries, namely Wanda Fontaine-Spruit and Loopspruit. The Donaldson Dam in the upper Wanda Fontaine-Spruit receives water from various sources such as sewage facilities, mining areas and formal settlement. That has a negative impact on the quality of water. The Moy River flows south through agricultural land, where it is eventually joins the Vaal River. The main types of land used in the Moy catchment area are crop farming and grazing. According to the Department of Water Affairs, irrigation and farming are the two major activities polluting the waters of Moy River drainage basin, following the removal of natural vegetation. Some small-scale diamond diggings also occur along the Moy River, destroying the floodplain and riparian, that is wetlands next to the river habitats. So this is the information that we have. So the next thing that we want to know is what are some of the questions that are coming out from this extract that we have been given. So let's go through it now for the sake of time. Define the concept catchment management. So this is very important, guys. You will always have a question about catchment and management of catchment management, okay? So what this is all about is about maintaining rivers and use of water in a sustainable way so that it is available for future generations. That's what basically this is all about. Drainage basins management, river management in a sustainable way so that it is available for future generations. That's basically what this is all about. So know the definition of catchment area. Use the information above to identify at least one major activity polluting the Moy River drainage basin. Guys, this is straight to the point. Of course, this is irrigation and farming. Of course, irrigation and farming. Then what are the why are the water sampling testing points important? Of course, why are they important? We want to test the quality of water along the river course. That's why it is important. The sampling points, we want to ensure that the water quality is maintained. It's not only about testing, but also maintaining the water quality. Identify the point where water pollution occurs. Where does water pollution occurs? So that's basically what this is all about. So we have said that, number one, to test the quality of water along the river course, to ensure that the water quality is maintained, and to identify the point where the water pollution occurs, okay? 2.5.4, explain how poor catchment management of the Moy River affect the environment. The poor management, what is happening, this pollution that is taking place, how poor management, we explain how poor management, if it's not managed in a sustainable way, how will it affect the environment. 2.5.4, the polluted water will result in loss of biodiversity. That's basically what you're talking about, the different forms of life that you find in this drainage basin. So the polluted water will result in loss of biodiversity. Polluted water will result in the loss of biodiversity. That's number one, which means you get your marks. So if you just said water becomes polluted, you get 1 mark. But if you increase to say they result in loss of biodiversity, which means the factor and the qualifier, you have managed to explain it in full. The polluted water will result in loss of biodiversity. Don't just say the water will be polluted. The polluted water will actually result in loss of biodiversity. I'm doing 2.5.4. The polluted water will result in loss of biodiversity. You can also talk about the ecosystem or aquatic life will be disturbed due to polluted water. The ecosystems or aquatic life will be disturbed due to polluted water, aquatic life, the different forms of water that we find in these drainage basins in the rivers. Okay, poor farming methods will accelerate soil erosion. Eutrophication decreases the oxygen levels in the river. Eutrophication, we are having those chemicals from fertilizers getting into this drainage basin. So that's process of eutrophication. It decreases the oxygen levels in the river, which will also affect the aquatic life. That's basically what we are talking about. Then you get your 4 marks. Then suggest 3 sustainable strategies that can be implemented in order to maintain the quality of water in the Moi River. Remember, when we are going through our geographical questions, we are saying now we do not only identify the problem and explain concept, but we also are supposed to come up with solutions. So here we are looking for strategies that can be implemented to maintain the quality of water in the Moi River catchment area. What can we do? Regular testing of water, and also monitoring of water quality. That's number 1. That's a strategy that we have to do to make sure that we maintain the quality. So we test the water regularly. We also monitor the water quality regularly to make sure that we maintain the quality. We can also impose fines to industries that pollute the river. We impose fines to the industries that pollute the river. The more you pollute, the more you pay. We are trying to maintain the quality to monitor as well through imposition of fines. We can also implement flood control measures, because some of these things are actually finding their way into the rivers because of floods, okay, because they are actually being streamed into the rivers because of flood. So we implement flood control measures. That's another way to prevent pollutants from entering the river. We want to prevent pollutants from entering the river. We can also remove invasive alien plants and animals. These are foreign plants and animals, so we remove them. Like, for example, I can talk about the water hyacinth that you usually find in dams like the Harties. There's foreign or invasive alien plants and animals. Okay, then promote community water stewardship supervision, which means we are involving the community so that at least they will also help in maintaining the quality and water through them not throwing the waste anything into the rivers, which results in water pollution. Okay, community education and awareness, that's something that we can also do, because these people are relying on this water. So the more they know that their livelihoods also depend on this water, they will take care of this drainage basin or water sources or these river systems. Okay, restoration of indigenous plants along the river bank and also buffering along the river. Can be rows of trees, something that we can do in order to make sure that the pollutants does not have access or get into the rivers. That's what we can do. That's what we can do. Okay, let's see. Now I'm moving on to TV 15. Yeah, this is the last one now. Refer to the extract below about catchment area. That is your 15. About catchment area, that is the last now. Extract below about catchment area. This is the still concept that we are still the same concept that we're exploring. It's the last one, then we call it a day. The Namahadi River in the Free State Province, South Africa, like many rivers in the country, has been affected by pollution. Okay, this is a concept that is assessed here. Pollution in the river is primarily due to various human activities, okay, including industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, inadequate waste management practice. So these are the major contributors in as far as the pollution of river systems is concerned, of drainage basin in general. Agriculture activities such as excessive use of fertilizers and pesticides also lead to pollution in the river. Runoff from families carry sediments, nutrients, and agrochemicals into the water, impacting the river's quality and ecosystem. Here they are giving you information as to why we end up having this problem of pollution. Where is it coming from? What is causing it? Mostly it's human activities. So here is well explained. What are those human activities? Okay. In addition, inadequate waste management, this is another one, and poor sanitation practice in communities along the river can result in discharge of domestic waste and sewage into the river, further contributing to pollution. So here, guys, they are giving you all the information. You can see, guys, the importance of going through the extract, of going through the case study, of going through the information that you are given. It actually gives you an idea of what the concept is all about. It gives you answers to the question. Okay, then the first one is, why do we need to manage water catchment areas? What is the importance? Okay, we want to store water and protect it for future use. That's what this is all about. We want to store water and protect it for future use. Obviously, water is a basic need. So for us to have access to quality or water, we are saying now, let's store it and also protect it for future use, because it's a basic need. We cannot do without it. So it's storing water and protecting it for future use. That's why we need to manage water catchment areas. Okay, through which town does the Namahadi River flow? Through which town, guys? Through which town? Does this okay, that is 2.5.2. Through which town? Of course, you can see there, this is the town, guys. The Putadichi Hapa. Okay, forgive my pronunciation. This is the town. Putadichi Hapa. That is the town through which it flows. Okay, it's there. Then, according to the article above, what role does agriculture play in polluting the river? What role does rivers play in polluting the river? There's excessive use of pesticides. Okay, where we have this? There's excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers, which can also lead to pollution of the river. Runoff from farmlands can carry sediment, nutrients, and agrochemicals into the water, impacting the river's quality and ecosystem. It's there from the case study. Okay, so the excessive use of pesticides and fertilizers run into the river, runoff from farmlands, nutrients, agrochemicals into the river. That's how agriculture actually play a role in polluting the river. Explain how the polluted Namahad River will affect the communities living in the area. How will it affect the communities? Okay, how will it affect the communities living in the area? 2.5.4. We are saying people will consume contaminated water. That's how it's going to affect. People will consume contaminated water, which means they are likely to get sick. Community can catch waterborne diseases transmitted by the contaminated water, including cholera and typhoid fever. There can be water shortages due to polluted water, because people cannot drink polluted water, so there can be water shortages. Okay, communities will not have access to water. So these are how the Namahadi River will affect the communities in the area. We have said in simple terms, communities will not have access to water. Water shortages will be due to polluted water, and communities will consume contaminated water. That's the answer then. Discuss strategies that can be implemented to reduce the pollution of Namahad River. What can we do to reduce? What can we do to reduce the pollution of water in this river? So we can talk about vegetation must be maintained in areas close to the rivers. Obviously, it's going to act as a buffer. Okay, so vegetation can be maintained in areas close to the rivers. So it's going to help in buffering of these rivers to actually distracts pollutants from entering into the rivers. That is 2.5.5. That's what we are doing now. We can also talk about deforestation must be controlled, which means the cutting down of trees. It has to be controlled. We can also talk about we avoid construction of settlements on floodplains close to these river sources. Of course, this is what is resulting in the pollution of water through human waste. We can also educate farmers on sustainable farming methods. We can also educate the public on water conservation. Educate the public on water conservation, and the water wetlands must also be conserved. We can also use legislation to control what is discharged into the rivers, legislation to control the pollution of underground water. So these are some of the ways in which we can actually strategize to reduce the pollution of the river. We have said that vegetation must be maintained in areas close to the rivers, which means we are buffering these rivers to make sure that we reduce the pollutants that is having access to the rivers or finding their way into the rivers. Deforestation must be controlled, which means we need more of afforestation, which we may try by all means to make sure people do not cut a lot of trees along these rivers. Avoid construction and settlements along floodplains. Educate farmers on sustainable farming methods. Educate the public on water conservation, and wetlands must be conserved as well. So these are some of the strategies that we can actually use to make sure that we reduce the pollution of the river. So boys and girls, this takes us to the end of our lesson. I've gone through a lot of activities in as far as geomorphology is concerned. So what I'm going to do, I think probably tomorrow or Monday, I'll go through the 2021 question paper. I'll go through the 2021 paper 1. 2021 paper 1. This is what I'm promising you, 2020 paper 1. But I'm going to do climate and weather, because I've been doing a lot of geomorphology. Because I know most of the learners are struggling with paper 1, so I'm going to do more of that. Then when we get towards the test where we are going to write paper 2, I'll also start uploading topics on paper 2 as well. And very soon I'll also start uploading questions, past exam papers for grade 10 and 11. But at the moment I'm focusing more on grade 12 to make sure that I prepare them for a final exam. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.